Hi, this is Mike Lembeck from Remax Commercial Apartment Sales Division. This is the SoCal Multifamily Sales Pulse. It's a weekly publication that reviews the past week's multifamily sales, stats, rents, absorption rate, and sale metrics for all 5 Southern California counties, plus Long Beach. This weekly blog post contains all the information you need to make an intelligent multifamily real estate investing decision. And if you visit my website, mikelembeck.com, you'll also be able to easily see all the Southern California multifamily inventory currently available with predefined searches at mikelembeck.com/search-the-MLS. Okay, let's start off and look at Orange County. Orange County last week had 14 closed sales, and this is one more closed sale than the prior week when there was 13 closed sales. The closed sales average days on market was 48 days, and this is higher than the usual number of days, which is usually around 30 days. The Orange County sale of the week was a 4-unit building on Brea Boulevard in Fullerton, and the property was listed at $1,899,000, and it sold for $1.8 million in 61 days. The property was built in 1966, and it's located in an area known as Via Santiago near the Coyote Hills Golf Course. The units consisted of 1 3-bedroom 2-bath and 3 2-bedroom 2-baths. There are 8 enclosed garages. The property sold at $360 per square foot. The average price per square foot in Fullerton is $540. The gross rent multiplier was 18.5 times gross, and the cap rate was 3.9%. Let's look at the Orange County listing inventory. Orange County had 8 new listings last week, and we've seen a steady decline of weekly new listings for Orange County over the last 8 weeks. The total number of active listings has now dropped to 119 total listings. This is the lowest number of active listings this year, and more than likely we won't see any significant increase in listings for the remainder of the year. There were no expired listings last week, and the months of inventory remained at 3 months. Okay, looking at Long Beach multifamily listings, we had 13 closed sales last week, and this is up from 7 closed sales in the prior week, and the highest amount of weekly closed sales we've seen in the last month. The closed sales average days on market was 57 days. This stat is usually around 30 days. There were a couple of closed sales that increased the average average days on market. One was a property that took 412 days to sell, and the other one was a property that took 240 days to sell. If we remove these 2 closed sales, the days on market drops down to 36 days. The Long Beach sale of the week was a 6-unit building on Spring Street, and the property was listed at $1.1 million and sold immediately upon hitting the market at $1.275. And it was built in 1962. The property consisted of all 2-bedroom 1-bath units, and the existing rents were extremely low. There was room to increase the existing rents by about 35 to 50%. The property sold at just $286 per square foot, and the average price per square foot in Long Beach is $494. The gross rent multiplier is 14 times gross, and the cap rate is 3.4%. Looking at the Long Beach listing inventory, last week we had 9 new listings, and this is an average week of new listings for Long Beach, and this brings the total number of active listings to 93 listings. That's just 3 total listings less than the prior week. And the total number of active listings last dropped below 90 listings 3 weeks ago after being at 90 or more listings for most of the year. Okay, let's look at Los Angeles County now. Los Angeles County had 90 closed sales last week. This is another good week for LA County closed sales. The LA County closed sales average days on market was 38 days. There were 46 out of the 90 closed sales last week that were transactions that sold at or above the asking price. The LA County sale of the week was a 14-unit building on Middleton Street in Huntington Park. The property was listed at $2.5 million and sold for $2.5 million in 28 days. The property was built in 1951, and the units consisted of 11 single or bachelor units and 3 one-bedroom, one-bath units. There was approximately 18% rental upside, and the property sold for $178,571 per unit and 12.65 times gross. The cap rate was 4.9%, and the property sold at $398 per square foot, and the average price per square foot for Huntington Park is $396. The LA County listing inventory, we had 95 new listings last week, and this is a lot lower than usual when it's usually around 125 or more weekly new listings. And this also brings the total number of active listings way down to 1,624. The total number of active listings hasn't been below 1,700 at any time this year. All right, looking at San Diego County. San Diego County had 17 closed sales last week. This is not a bad week for San Diego County, but this stat is usually around 20 or more weekly closed sales. The closed sales average days on market remain low at just 22 days. And San Diego County has one of the shortest average days on market stat for any area of Southern California. 9 of the 17 closed sales last week were transactions that sold at or above asking price. Looking at the listing inventory for San Diego County had 14 new listings last week. The total number of active listings dropped again last week to 152 total listings. The total number of active listings has dropped each week for the last 2 months. And with 152 total listings, this is now the low point for this year for active listings in San Diego County. Okay, let's look at Riverside County. Riverside County had 10 closed sales last week. This is a good strong week of sales for Riverside County. The closed sales average days on market was 64 days, and there were 2 closed sales that skewed this stat on the high side. If we remove those 2 closed sales, the stat drops down to just 28 days. There were 7 of the 10 closed sales last week that were transactions that sold at or above asking price. And this stat shows investors are still competing strongly for Inland Empire multifamily properties. Riverside County listing inventory. Riverside County had 8 new listings last week, and this brings the total number of active listings to 76 listings. This is 1 more than the prior week, but the overall trend is still heading lower for total inventory. Okay, looking at San Bernardino County now. San Bernardino County had 12 closed sales last week. This matches the number of total closed sales from the prior week and keeps pace with the most prior weeks of closed sales, where the stat typically ranges from 8 to 15 weekly closed sales. The closed sales average days on market was 39 days. There were 10 of the 12 closed sales last week that were transactions that sold at or above asking price. And like Riverside County, this stat also shows that investors are still competing strongly for Inland Empire multifamily properties. Now, looking at the San Bernardino County listing inventory, San Bernardino County had 6 new listings last week, and this is a low for weekly listings for San Bernardino County. The total number of active listings dropped again last week to 107 total listings. If the downward trend continues, the total number of active listings will probably drop below 100 listings later this year. Thanks for watching this week's SoCal Multifamily Sales Pulse. You can look at all the charts, stats, and closed sales in detail in the full report on my website, mikelembeck.com. If you're interested in seeing more stats or sale metrics, let me know and I'll see what I can do to add them. The market indicators are still continuing to show a drop in inventory in just about every area this past week. The Inland Empire is still a hot spot for multifamily investors as prices are bid up once properties come on the market. So feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email with any questions on the market, or if you're looking at acquiring more units or selling a property you currently own. And if you're having a hard time locating an upleg for your exchange, we have access to lots of inventory using the Delaware Statutory Trust as a way of satisfying your 1031 exchange requirements. I can put you in touch with the right people to take the stress out of that situation. So have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you next week.